Do you remember back when on YouTube they did video responses? Like, I don't even know if you can still press that button on YouTube, but you used to, like, watch a person do a video, and you would click on the post a video response button, and then underneath the video, your video would pop up that you recorded, and it's like you being like, hey, I just watched this video. I think this, and this about it. And YouTube thought, that's a good idea. I don't use YouTube for anything except funk and weird humor videos. And also young Mr. Howard videos. And that's why I'm recording this video in Pollock Pines, California at midnight o'clock, responding to an email using a YouTube video, which I'm gonna post as a video response because I got a lot of stuff to say in an email and I don't feel like typing. Hi Jeremy, by the way. Good to see you. I can't actually see you, but good to hear from you. I'm enjoying your saga of musical recordings being posted to YouTube. There's a bunch of stuff on my lens. The nearest piece of cloth is, of course, the one that's on my body. Yeah, I think that's better. Please like and leave a video response in the comment section. Subscribe. Oh God. What I'm going to start off by doing, because I need to organize my train of thought if I'm going to present it to you in train style, is I'm going to read your email. I'm going to say what I wanted to say in the response to that email. I did watch / listen to your music presentation. I don't know what we're calling Spasmodic, AntiSpaspdsd, Mthtrldsdgaasd. I don't know if we're considering it an EP or like a single, or if it's some other form of release that doesn't really have a clear musical definition because the times they are a-changin', but I like it, and I like when multiple songs are packaged into one as one piece. I think that's dope. I wish that more stuff was presented that way. And I was gonna write a thing back to you, and then I didn't. And then I continued to didn't, and in the meantime, from all of that, you have uploaded like a zillion other songs, and I've listened to all of them, and they all made me feel things. And also, you just uploaded a video earlier this evening that I have not even watched yet. And so we're gonna watch it together. You can just look at that guy. That's what you can do. The email reads as follows. Subject line. Spasmodic / AntiSpaspdsd / Motherland. Content. So, I decided to keep Spasmodic and AntiSpaspdsd pretty cold, but there's plenty of emoting going on by the end. Let me know what you think. Where are you these days? http://www.youtube.com/watch ? V = NI1I0DDNYAE. Young Mr. Howard. You can't stop the flow of the music. Go with the flow. So, this video consists of Spasmodic, I think remastered slightly. That's playing now. Yeah, possibly slightly remastered or remixed version of Spasmodic. Maybe. Something different about it. I can't quite finger place on what, but I think there's different things about it. I like it. AntiSpaspdsd also seems very different in some respects. And I feel like the combination of the three of them presented as one piece, building towards Motherland, as opposed to just, here's Spasmodic, and then here's Quiet Time. Like, I think it works nicely as there's like a, like that's the shape of your release there. And then there's Motherland, which, I mean, who doesn't love Motherland? Who doesn't love Motherland? I was going to ask in my email if you were intentionally trying to record Motherland in a more lo-fi sort of fashion. I think it gave it a nice sort of ethereal effect that made it very pleasant to listen to. Or at the very least that like fit well with like, it just tied everything together. It like made sense like why there's the big at the beginning, and then it goes into like the zh part, and then the zh turns into like Come walk with me. I don't remember how the first verse of Motherland goes. Bum, dum, bum, bum. I like all this. Everything that I'm playing for you right now is stuff I like. What I didn't quite understand at first, when I was listening, and this is why I wanted to ask about the lo-fi thing, was about like the middle and end sections of it, the emotional sections of it, the parts that sound like this. Wait, listen to this. Love that noise. And is that an amplifier hum in the background?
Come on, shotgun bride. What makes me envy your life? Oh, motherland.
So the thing is that, like, when we all first heard you perform Motherland by Demi Lovato, or whoever does that, Natalie Merchant, I think that we were all struck by the very huge dynamic and like emotional vocal shift. You give a super, super powerful and emotional vocal performance of that song. That kind of drastic dynamic shift where you go from Motherland to oh shotgun right. That's like, it's a horrible impression of you, but you understand what I'm. When you first hear that, like in real life, the general audience reaction is to go, oh like, because we're not prepared, right? And it captures like the reality of the emotion of that moment. But then when you put that whole thing into like this kind of hazy lo-fi thing, it kind of evens out the dynamic. Like instead of your vocals being like, it's more just kind of like, so it's like kind of like evens it out. So it's less of like a huge dynamic shift, which reduces some of the emotional impact of the more emotive singing, if that makes any sense. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, it's just an observation of how your aesthetic choice affects the emotional content of what you are recording. Like, that kind of got me the first time I listened to it, and so then later on, listening to it once or twice again, I was like, well, what if, like, that's kind of part of the point, is to like put an effect of distance on this profoundly American song. Because I feel like Spasmodic, AntiSpaspdsd Motherland has a very, very strong sense of place, as in like location place. Spasmodic and AntiSpaspdsd, those are both songs that you did in San Marcos, Nicaragua. And to me, Spasmodic is fairly indicative of what it's like to step outside into the crazy weirdness and noisy, like, awfulness that is Nicaragua, and the complete bombardment of senses that just kind of beats you senseless. But then also AntiSpaspdsd captures kind of the more tranquil aspects of it. But the thing is that both of them have like a very strong sense of place, especially AntiSpaspdsd, because it's a freaking series of field recordings. And then Motherland, which it segues into, is, as described by you, one of the most profoundly American songs to have ever been recorded. It winds up becoming the 9/11 song, right? And it's called Motherland. Like, all of the super, like, real up-in-your-face parts of the recording is the stuff that's going on in, like, the Nicaragua. The parts that are literally recorded in Nicaragua, and the parts that consist halfway of field recordings in Nicaragua. And then Motherland, the song about the United States, recorded in the United States, has this distancing filter basically applied to it, so that it sounds like it's happening somewhere way far away, including the emotional parts. And all of, like, the agony and distress, even though it's still very real, is happening somewhere that's not quite here. Especially because it's put up against a recording like Spasmodic, which feels very, very real and is very, very textured in your earphones or speakers as you're listening to it, whereas Motherland, like, the dynamic shift is more evened out and it feels more distant. There's all this, like, stuff that's incomprehensible that's happening, like, right here in front of you, and then in the distance is all of, like, these political and personal and all other kinds of, like, feelings, both, like, the tragic and the sad and the beautiful and the like the loyalties and compassion, like all of that is still happening, but it's kind of happening somewhere else. I thought of what as I was listening to your thing. I'm in California, by the way. That answers the other question from your email. And now we're going to take an intermission for me to drink more wine. Don't you go. Jeremy Howard's YouTube channel. There's not many. Most of them look like amoebas. I've listened to all of these except for this brand new one that was just posted. It's a Fine Day, covered by young Mr. Howard. So we're all eager to see what that is, because I'm not sure what the original is. Unless it's that Smiths song that you covered for Bills. Every day feels like Sunday, easy like Sunday morning. Cleaning Days, take one, by young Mr. Howard. Just gonna refresh my memory. This is the one that starts with, oh yeah, it's got your face. By the way, can I just take this opportunity to say that I like that your progressive uploads of all of like your musical stuff is like, it's like reminiscent of like a viral marketing thing. Like you're viral marketing for an album, except you're also kind of posting the album. And so the viral marketing kind of actually is the story and not just like an advertisement for a story, which is how viral marketing kind of should be anyway. I really like this song. Obviously, it's kind of a pop song because it's got melody and all that good stuff. Running wild with their own deities. Is this candid footage from outside your window in San Marcos, by the way? Piano note out of nowhere. Upside down Messiah volcano shot. Yes, I like this song. I feel that emotional distancing is a very strong theme in your work. Ooh. Oh, heck yeah. Sonic in New Jersey Part 2.1. That main piano riff that forms like the basis for this song is like ghetto funky. Is this the one where the dude is like, I don't see a point in having relationships, or something like it is, yeah. I'm not interested in relationships as, what does he say? As you're supposed to. What's that a sample from? Is this the one where like all your samples like got lost and so you were just like, screw it, I'm gonna write a thing? Yeah, I like this paragraph about you losing all your samples and then doing like the metaphor about like if you steal a bunch of jewels and then your butler loses all of them, and then the last like line is a passive aggressive enjoy. Once again, I'm not interested in relationships as like there's more like emotional distancing stuff going on there. Oh, this one's neat. Nika Naranja Sorbet Dub Demo, parentheses. This is like a level in Super Castlevania. I have like this thing for like old retro MIDI style keyboards that just makes it like I cannot take anything seriously that comes out of them. I know I like this song. It's just that I'm just listening to like the instrumentation and I'm just like, ah! Oh no, Simon Belmont's getting chased by bats! I feel though that it should be illegal to put the word dub in your title, but not actually make it like a dub song. Like if you're gonna, like this should just be called Nika Naranja Sorbet, right? And then the next one you upload is Nika Naranja Sorbet Dub, which is like the dub remix of it, done by some reggae DJ who makes it super spaced out and trippy bassline. Anyway. And then there's, of course, everyone's personal favorite, the club banger of the whole bunch, If I'm So Old, Why Do I Feel So Stupid by young Mr. Howard. Which, I was out for a long evening with a friend when you uploaded this, and I saw it right as I was driving off from my house, and I was like, oh man, Jeremy uploaded a new song! I'm so excited to listen to it! I spent like literally the entire time I was hanging out with my buddy, like in the back of my mind just thinking, Jeremy uploaded a new song. I wonder what it's gonna be. I wonder what it's gonna be. Because it's always something different with you, and I can never pin down exactly what it's gonna be next. It's always an adventure with young Mr. Howard. I don't look very dignified when I drink wine. So I was crazy excited for this song, and then I zoomed in back home, got redressed or whatever, and sat down with my cell phone, plugged in my earphones, and I played If I'm So Old, Why Do I Feel So Stupid? Which is 17 seconds of noise and ants. The Jeremy Howard trademark of letting us in on his creative and personal process by giving us a detailed description of each composition is not continued on with this particular one so as to heighten the confusion effect. Which I like, but I was thoroughly trolled by this song, is what I'm saying. So, fulfilling YouTube cliche bingo here, we are now going to do a reaction video to Jeremy Howard's brand new song, It's a Fine Day. We're at 0 minutes and 0 seconds, and we are hitting play 3, 2, 1, now. What's the thing with the dots on it? It's a Fine Day was originally performed by Jane, then covered by Opus 3. Now it is the perfect post-rave middle-aged anthem. What I've learned from the song is no matter how much you say something over and over and over again, that will not make it come true. Enjoy, all you old ravers out there. Okay, now I'm curious to hear the original of this song because apparently it's a rave, middle-aged rave classic. How long has raving been around as a practice? You don't count as middle-aged, Jeremy. I don't know if this is the one I'm supposed to be listening to, but I like this one the most out of all the ones I've started playing. Where is the part where they walk through the grass? Oh, here it goes. Okay, where's the Opus 3 version? Oh boy. This is what we're watching right now. Can I just point out that at some point in human history, this woman was sitting in a studio somewhere just doing all of this stuff that she's doing right now. I just want you to think about that. Just think, there's like 20 like cameramen and like makeup artists and stuff just off to the side, just kind of watching this go on. I'm still waiting for the part where they walk through the sky and lay in the grass. Well, I'll be damned. They do look at the sky and the grass after all. Ooh, this got weird. I got some constructive criticism on your song. You should have done that little arpeggio that the synthesizer's doing, because that's the part that I like of the original rave version. I don't know what that's supposed to be evocative of. I like to sometimes consider myself a humble person. At the very least, humble enough to admit when I don't understand something. In conclusion, I'm happy that you're doing music and continuing to upload things in this way, and it makes me really happy every time one comes on, and keep doing the thing that you're doing, because I like the thing that you're doing.